welcome back to Ironside Ranch. So let's talk a little bit about John Deere and what is going on over this right to repair. So for those of you that don't know, this has been a big issue with farmers and agricultural guys and anybody that basically has some semblance of a hobby farm that has a tractor or that needs a tractor at some point in time. And what happens is these manufacturers, and John Deere is probably the worst of the offenders, but they all do it to a certain extent, but they've had to put all these computers in there. And now everybody says, well, it's the government getting in the way, it's the EPA making these computers and crap like that. And that's partly true, but they've done a lot of that at the behest of the lobbyists of these big corporations. Because if John Deere makes the cost of entry so hard, it makes it very difficult for another competitor to rise up out of the ashes somewhere and actually compete with John Deere building a tractor. Because those electronics, that's very, very complex stuff. You have to have a whole team, which means you have to have funding, you have to have infrastructure. It makes it very difficult for a new competitor to arrive at the board and play against them. The other thing that it does is it guarantees them long-term service on those equipments. One of the things that happens, right, we all know this dealership prices are substantially more than a typical service price, right? So and that's true with cars, it's true with vehicles, or that with tractors as well. And that service price that you pay at the dealership is going to be 2-3 times as much as what you would pay if you went to a normal mechanic. And those mechanics aren't making it anymore. It goes straight to the dealer and to John Deere and whoever else. And so what they've done is they've locked their software. Now, John Deere refused to give anybody else access. So if you were a diesel repair shop, you couldn't have access to that software, which means you couldn't work on them. Now, I want you to realize this, that because we have so much technology now in these tractors, they have little sensors on them everywhere. And if one of these sensors goes bad, that sensor could be a $20 part. You might be able to put it in with one screw and a wiring harness, but because the software is locked, you can't just plug it in. You actually have to reboot it and reprogram it to accept this new whatever component that you're putting on there, which means you have to get John Deere involved. Now, if we've got a big combine that weighs whatever, I don't know how much they weigh, 50,000 pounds or whatever it is, right? We transport them with semi-trucks. If we've got a big combine, we can't just take that to a John Deere dealership like I can my little 28 horsepower tractor. So what they have to do then is they have to get a John Deere service rep to come out, or service technician to come out and deal with this, right? And so a lot of starting prices that we see on that are about $1,200, right? And so they make a killing on doing this. And so this is a huge problem for these large farms. And so they're paying $1,200 for a $20 part that they have the capabilities, all their people on site have the capabilities of fixing them themselves. And so what has come out of this is a lot of people want this right to repair legislation to pass through. And so John Deere has been fighting this and pushing and pushing and pushing. And now they're starting to cave a little bit, and they're saying that they're going to give the service departments, the technicians of reputable companies, the ability to work on some of their software. They're going to lock them so you can't change emission stuff, you can't increase power, you can't disable safety features, right? So they're going to lock a number of things on there. But that's what's really interesting is this is the game that they're playing, is they're saying that, well, it's because of safety, it's because of emissions, because we care about the environment, all this different stuff. It is a load of crap. All they care about is getting their profit and forcing you to have to come to the dealer. If they truly cared about the environment, they wouldn't charge you $1,200 to send a service technician out to replace a $20 part. That's a load of crap because they're polluting the environment all the way over there, by the way. So it's a load of crap. They are all 100% out to make a profit, which is fine. They're a business, but I don't like it when a business says that, oh, we're doing this for some wholesome reason, when it's truthfully, you just want to make money. Just admit to what it is. You just want to make money and just say, no, this is a great business plan for us. And we'd all be able to say, well, it sucks, but I respect that at least. So, but now they're caving to it. There are two reasons why they're caving. Don't let them fool you. They're caving trying to say that they're trying to help the farmers out, making it easier for the farmers to get services done on Sunday because they know the farmers are working on Sunday and the dealership is not open on Sunday. A lot of them are open on Saturdays. If they are, a lot of times it's till like noon. I think our local one here is open till like noon on Saturdays. But they're saying they're doing this to help the farmers out. They are not. They are again. That is just a load of crap. What they're doing is they're trying to they want to get in front of the right to repair legislation. If a good Congress, and I don't know which side is going to be good in this realm as far as which side politically, but if a good Congress and a good executive branch get in and they have enough lobbying support behind them, which they're building a lot of it, these farmers are, then at that point in time, they're going to force John Deere to do this because they're going to put a right to repair into actual legislation. John Deere does not want that to happen. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to kind of cool the embers a little bit, pour a little water on the fire. We still want to keep it hot, keep the bed of coals warm, but we're going to cool things down just a little bit in this to get a better temperature for this room. So that way, that right to repair legislation is not pushed through, and that it kind of kills back the fire of the people that are pushing it, right? So that's reason number one that they want to do this, that they actually want to kind of make amends here, and that's really the bigger reason. Okay, the second reason is because right now what these farmers are doing is they're actually buying cracked and hijacked software from Ukraine. Was actually a big one, which is ironic enough, but from overseas they're buying pirated software that they can then plug onto an iPad, plug it into their tractor, and actually start messing with a lot of the system settings and stuff. And John Deere doesn't want them to be able to do that, because now they're getting to skip this entirely. They're being able to order parts from other dealers and other types of other manufacturers. They can order parts from China. They can order parts straight from the producers, the factories that are actually making the widgets for John Deere before they get the label stamped back on them saying, yeah, this is made to John Deere specs. There's no difference, by the way. So the fact is that they want to stop a lot of these things before they start happening, but right now they're actually losing revenue. Now, so that's the second reason. The third reason is loss of revenue. John Deere is taking it in the shorts right now with a lot of this stuff, and people quit buying John Deere. I won't buy John Deere anymore, and there's a lot of people like me. Now, I love my John Deere tractor. That was before John Deere started all this electronics and all this crap in them, and I wouldn't buy anything any newer than what I have. I would buy an older tractor. So I think anymore, Kubota is probably about the best one out there as far as a quality tractor, but there are other good ones. Takahashi makes a great if you're looking for industrial grade, but there are other good ones, so don't get me wrong there. But I won't buy John Deere anymore simply because of the way that they've done business with this locking in the software issue. I find that to be a really shitty thing to do and a really crappy way of running your business. So their profits are starting to sink. And so what they're trying to do is they're seeing everything in the economy, they're seeing things crashing down, and they're seeing that, hey, people are not going to be buying new shiny tractors when the economy crashes down. They'll fix the old ones they got, they'll buy used on the market. They need to keep people coming in those doors buying tractors. Their big business, the ones that John Deere makes a ton of money off of, is these large farms and large farms, industrial places, and like excavation companies, stuff like that buy a lot of heavy equipment. They have to keep those people happy. Those are their main customers. They don't care about you and I. They care about those larger people that will buy new equipment year over year. And some of those people will spend more in a week than you and I will ever spend in a lifetime at a dealership. Actually, a lot of them will. If you look at like a mulching service, right? So mulching down here in the southeast, we mulch a lot of our forested land and stuff to kind of get that back into the soil. So if you don't know what that is, basically it's a skid steer. They put a big drum head on the front that has a bunch of teeth on there, and it rips up everything, cuts down trees and that sort of thing. Really common in the southeast, not so common up north. But these mulchers that they sell there at John Deere are substantially more expensive than anybody else. I know I've just priced them out because we were looking at adding that as a service. But they're substantially more. But so you're looking at $120,000 for this machine. And that machine, mulching head, everything, the whole package. And what these guys do is they buy this machine and they trade it back to John Deere before the warranty expires. So they go and they beat the hell out of these machines for 3 or 4 years. And then before the warranty's up, they take it back to John Deere. They buy a brand new one, keep financing that one. So now John Deere's in it for the $110,000 or $120,000 original. Now they've gone this new model. So the new model has more bells and whistles. So now it's like $125,000, $130,000. So they get that money out of them. And they get to take this one back and resell it at a substantial profit, because they're not going to lose a bunch on this. They're going to go through it with their mechanics, make sure that it looks good, right? They don't care if it mechanically is good. They're going to make sure that it looks good and that it runs, and then they're going to resell it to some poor schmuck that just needs a skid steer for his farm, and he's going to end up paying $60,000 for that same machinery that 3 years ago was $120,000. They're going to sell the mulching head separate, or give it back to the guy that actually on his new machine, and he'll keep the mulching head. So they're not losing a lot of money on these trades. They have this down to a science. So right now they're trying to keep those people happy. Those people are unhappy. Those people are going to other businesses and saying, I'm going to go with Kubota because Kubota's got a better deal. I'm going to go with Takeuchi. I'm going to go with Caterpillar, whatever. Well, Caterpillar's about as bad. But anyways, you get my point. That's what they're trying to do. They're just trying to make sure that A, they stay in business and that they can make a profit, and really B, they want to keep this legislation from coming back and to bite them, and so they're trying to cool the temperature of the room. Guys, I really appreciate y'all watching. I hope that helps kind of clarify this, and I will see y'all probably tomorrow.